Hi. So I was just sitting here thinking about careers and career goals and all these things. And when you're in school, you have an idea of what you want to do. Well, I did anyway. And you may go to college, you may go to university to get into the job that you ultimately wanted to when you were younger. But for some people, they really had no idea what they wanted to do when they were younger, and so they kind of coasted through life. And then there were some other people who did have an idea, but when they got into maybe college, university, they changed their mind, they didn't want to do it anymore. And so, I'm thinking there are a lot of people out there who had different routes into their current situation in terms of the world of work. For me, when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer. And so when I left school, went to college, I actually wanted to do A levels, but I didn't get enough GCSEs at A to C to do A levels. So at the time, I had to do an advanced GNVQ. It was called a GNVQ then. But they also had NVQs, but yeah, I did a GNVQ. At advanced, and then when I finished that, I went to university and did law, but I failed my second year of law, and I did a resit and failed again, and that meant I couldn't go on to my third year of law, and it meant I had to actually do a completely different degree. Now I look back at that and I think that doesn't even matter anymore. Like back then, obviously it was like the worst thing in the world, but over the years, having different jobs, having different experiences, I haven't missed not being a lawyer. I haven't missed not, learning about criminal law, civil law, family law, all of the laws. And I still remember certain things, that I learned in the different subjects and stuff like that. But one of the subjects, statute law, was the absolute worst one, honestly. Like, absolutely not. But needless to say, like, my career has obviously taken a different turn. I've gone on to be a project manager. I've gone on to do, multiple other things that had nothing to do with law. And all that to say, sometimes we want to do something and it doesn't work out, but that doesn't mean that we failed. It doesn't mean that we weren't good enough. It just means that wasn't for us. I never looked back and thought, what, I really want to go back and do law. No, I really didn't. But when I was younger, I really wanted to be a lawyer. And so it just goes to show that sometimes, we always end up in the place that we're supposed to be. That's what I want to say. And so if you're somebody, you're in a place where, things have not really worked out for you, you've wanted to get into certain areas, it hasn't worked out for you for whatever reason, just know eventually you will end up where you're supposed to be. As long as you keep going, keep trying, everything will work out for you. And if you are interested in mentoring, then I have started a mentoring in my Patreon. I will leave the link below to the Patreon if you would like to join me. Let's work together to get you where you want to be.